नमः सर्वेभ्यः हरि ओम् अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतम् प्रथमं ध्यानम् ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यः शोभा भगिनी शान्तिमन्त्रं
महोदय। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्।
धन्यवादः भगिनी। For the benefit of those who have joined this class, the class is like this. We give first few minutes depending upon the questions we have. Those who have not understood certain aspects, or those who want some clarification, or those who want some more details, they can ask questions about the previous class. That clarity is to be made before we proceed to the next class. So even though the last class, the recordings are available, which I am sharing in the email. So the past day 1, day 2 recordings are available. Those who are joined can either go back to the group, Google Groups, and access that. And in the last class, the basic introduction to what is Aparokshanubhuti was explained, and we started the first dhyana shlokam of the text. Sri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaram Isharam Vyavakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. That is the shloka. Now, any questions on that, what we discussed last class, so that we can finish that and then go to the next portion. Abhishek Mahodaya, I got your email and replied out. You had the two questions. One is the world real or abstract, infinite, right?
Yes.
What exactly was in your mind?
Well, this is, I'm always left wondering that while supposedly we live in such a real world where we can look and feel and touch things around us, but when you think of the larger universe, in itself it is so abstract. We don't know where it ends and what's beyond that end. So it's so abstract in many ways.
Right.
We are like living a real world in an abstract universe. And so that this is something which I have been grappling with for a while, and it just came up while we were doing these classes. The question again came up again, and so I thought that
I will try to explain to you some aspects from which the Advaita philosophy looks at your problem, because this problem is not unique to you. For centuries and millenniums, rishis also have been thinking about this, and they found out that one thing is that if you start looking outside, as you said, it is infinite, and the more you know that infinite is, that the more abstract it becomes. So what they decided is that there must be a methodology by which everything becomes known, or I should be knowing something of which is available within my limited capacity of the brain, with which I can feel that can be that, or that is the basic truth on which everything is existing. So for that, they started, instead of looking outwards, they went outside. Obviously, those days the equipments and instruments and everything was very limited. So they started in the process of contemplation to know who one is himself. That is what is called Avritta Chakshu. So if I am part of the world, what is in the world should be there in me also. And what is that in me which is unique, that is not in the world, or what is that unique in the world which is not in me? This analysis was carried out by those rishis, and they came out to a conclusion that Karanam Karyam Abhinnatvam, that is the cause and the effect, even though appearance by name and form or things like that may be different, but there is something called Abhinnatvam, or inseparatedness from the effect and the cause. The cause itself becomes muted or appears as an effect for time-space continuum. So from that point of view, they found out there are two principles on which the whole process should be based upon. One is Advitiyatvam. There has to be a commonality in all these things. That oneness, that Advitiyatvam in everything should be available, because everything is within my realm of knowledge. Or I know things exist outside me, I know that I exist. Then the second principle on which they did was Ananyatvam. Ananyatvam is, it cannot be different, because if it is different, then there can never be a unison, or no way it can be joined together. But by the mere knowledge of things outside, there must be a connecting factor with the world outside and me as a knower, the world as known outside. That what is that connecting factor has to be common for both the outside and the inside, or me within. That what is called Ananyatvam is non-differentiable aspect of something. And so Advitiyatvam and Ananyatvam are the base two pillars on which Advaita philosophy is explained and developed upon. That is why the reason why when you say the world outside and everything is abstract and infinite is, you are only looking from that side. But you should understand that if water has to merge with milk, there is something common in the milk and the water, with which it cannot be, you can say there is a merging, because there is a certain percentage of water in the milk previously itself. Then when water merges, only the percentage of water goes up, the solid contents come down. If it had been oil and water, there is no water in oil, and the water is different, so that is why they can never be merged together. I am giving a gross example. So if we are able to see and know and experience the world outside, at the same time I am also able to look within myself and see my internal world and experience. So there must be something which is common. This is what Advaita is explaining in the process. For this there has to be a process of thought process development and quality of the brain, or condition under which the brain can accept such facts. Now, no doubt, everything has to be questioned, because should not accept anything at the face value. So that is to be kept in mind, and let us go step by step. So over the process, you will know what is this Ananyatvam and what is the Advitiyatvam we are talking about. Knowing which, as the Upanishad students have been asking their masters, Yat jnatva sarvam idam vijñātam bhavati. Knowing which, sarvam idam, all this becomes known to me. Not that you will know everything what is existing in the world, but that what is that commonality on which everything is substract, or the substratum on which everything is built upon. Okay?
Ji. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the process through which you have to develop your thought.
Sure.
Because if you stay outside alone, like the scientists trying to find out the box and Higgs and the atoms and on that, they will keep continuing new things, because the nature of the world is to keep changing. So they will get new things all the time, but they will never come to a final conclusion. Oh, this is the dark matter, this is the what you call God principle and all those things what they talk about in the quantum theory. That is not the thing. Even then, they are not able to finally come to a conclusion. Right? Any other questions?
Mahodaya, can we say that skin is just a barrier for the out and the in? Because we are also made of Panchabhutas, and the Panchabhutas are there outside. It's just a barrier. So it's all one. That's what I think. So I'm not sure about that.
See, skin per se is not the barrier.
Okay.
Because skin is only one of the sense of touch. Our identification to the sense of touch is the limitation which say that we are the body. But if you are driving the car, you don't stop at your skin level. When you are maneuvering through the traffic, your identification from the skin level goes to the external body of the car, so that you don't scratch. You are able to maneuver through the traffic, all of it. If you are on a two-wheeler, that will be your extension of the body. Same way, a pilot who is flying an aircraft, when he lands at an airport, he is identifying himself with the size and the capability of the aeroplane when he lands. Even though he is using gadgets for controlling it, these are all extension of his limbs in technical terms. Agree? You understood what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And and in the reverse form, when you are in dream, you are not even knowing your body. You have got a different body on which your identification is there, isn't it?
The conscious. Yes. That's right.
Okay.
Mahodaya, aham vadami va kinchit?
Yes, please. It's a discussion group. You can tell.
वंशी महोदय, अहं चिन्तयामि भवती एतत् वक्तुम् इच्छति वा? चर्मं यदस्ति त्वक्, चर्मम् इति अहं वदामि, तद् परिमितिः अस्ति. वयं तावत्पर्यन्तमेव वयं सर्वे स्मः इति.
आं महोदय.
तत्तु भवति. कारणं तु भिन्नम् अन्यत्र अस्ति, किन्तु आम्. We all think we are limited to the extent of our size.
Yes, that's what it is. When you feel that, unlimited
limitation, yes, that's what we call as limitation, upadhi.
That is because of the limitation of the sense of touch. Because of the indriya. But that limitation doesn't come when it comes to sound or the sight.
But even then, that's not the skin, as you said.
Smell and taste. No, because as you said, grossly we always identify with our physical shape. That I am the physical body.
Which is why there's so much.
So from that point of view, your question is right. But that is again coming out of what you call limited thinking, which we can say that the not knowing of the true nature of this identification. Why we identify that way should be understood, so that you will know why we are identifying with the body. If you are so much identified with the body, if there is an amputation to be done, you are ready to throw that part of the body because it's going to destroy your rest of the body. No?
Mahodaya, I would like to add something there.
Yeah.
When we think of the body, because it is the body consciousness that is the cause of this existence and not knowing the true nature of who we are, body is meant, what is meant by the body is all the three bodies, Sthula, Sukshma and Karana Sharira also. Altogether, that is the body consciousness, because then that takes care of everything. Because of that ignorance, we think we connect with the body. That's where everything begins. First the body, then the Jagat comes.
Right.
So as soon as that body consciousness is understood and dropped, then immediately everything is gone.
Right, you're right. But Vamshi's question was the skin. She started with the skin.
Correct.
So it's the Sthula Sharira she was talking about.
Correct. Yeah, another example came to my mind. You know that the body is compared to, the body consciousness is compared to a doll made of salt, and going into the ocean, it just immediately disappears.
Merging with it, yes.
Once someone asked Ramana Maharshi, so we have waterproof, something is waterproof then in our bodies, that's not happening. So he said that the body itself is the waterproof kavacha, meaning the body consciousness itself is keeping us from melting in that ocean of consciousness, that pure consciousness, where nothing else exists.
That's right. Chandu Mahodaya, any question?
No, Mahodaya.
Chandani Bhagini?
No, Mahodaya.
Okay. So we will go to the Pratamam Shlokam. We did the Padachedam last class, isn't it? Okay. Sriharim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Padachedam.
Kshimita Mahodaya, can you increase the font of your screen if it's not a problem, so that it's more, it's a bit low.
Okay, I'll put it in.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I have to make it as a presentation, that's all.
Okay.
Is it okay now?
Not yet, Mahodaya. It's still in the same format.
No, I just changed it. It takes time for you to.
Oh, view it.
You can expand on your own screen.
That's what I'm doing.
You're on your mobile or that tab?
On the desktop, Mahodaya. On the desktop, I think I'll do that. I'll extend it.
Oh, press control and plus. If you can do control and plus, the screen will increase.
Oh, is it so? I'll try that. I'll just try it out. It's okay. I can do it. I can read it out now. Thank you, Mahodaya.
Okay, Chandani Bhagini, can you read the Padacheda?
Yeah. Just Sri Harim Paramanandam. I think my internet is a problem.
Okay. Then Lilita Bhagini, are you able to see the screen?
I am able to see. I can read it.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Padacheda.
Yeah. Padachedah Sriharim Paramanandam Upadeshtaram Ishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namami Aham. Anvayah Aham Tam Sriharim Namami Yah Karanam Vyapakam sarvalokanam paramanandam. There, no? Paramanandam,
yes.
upadeshtam ishvaram. Arthaha api pataniyam va?
Yeah, you can read the word meanings.
Yeah. Sriharim, Srihari Paramanandam of the nature of supreme bliss, Upadeshtaram, who is preceptor, Ishwaram too, Ishwara, Vyapakam, of the nature of pervasiveness, Sarvalokanam, for all worlds, Karanam, by way, there is cause, Tam, unto you, Namami, bow down, Aham.
Okay. Now, this is the typical Vandana sloka for any auspicious work in the traditional textbooks. So here the Acharya also is writing the first. He is giving his namanam to Sri Hari, who is Paramanantam Upadeshtaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam. So these are all the adjectives which has been used in this one. Each one has got its own predominant meaning in it. Is that so? Sri Hari is of the nature of Paramanandam. Now Ananda is a word which is very loosely used by our normal languages, as Anandam is a happiness. But there is a difference between Sukham and Ananda. Sukham is what is a state in which you are getting happiness out of an object, either internal or external to you. That is, with things which you like will give you Sukham, then things which will not give you, you will get Asukham, which is Dukkham. Now, when it comes to Anandam, it doesn't need anything external or internal to become happy, because that is the nature of our self. How do we know that difference? These are all the part of the Aparokshanubhuti explanation. It comes. Why does it Paramanandam is this thing? He is being considered as the supreme most self. So our self is Ananda Swarupa. Why we say is that there are two reasons. One is that there is no karanam for it, to become Ananda. Then there is something called Niratishayatvam. That is no variation in it. More happy, less happy. Whereas in the objects which is either external or internal, we have always a comparative measurement with which you can say things which you like more, the things which you like most, same way to the one which you hate or the most one, and some which gives you pleasure, which gives you pain. All those variations are, that's all called adishayatvam, variations. Niradishayatvam is where you cannot have any variation. For example, I'll give you how the word Niradishayatvam you can understand is that if you are, I presume all of us have traveled by aircraft. In the aircraft, when we are sitting and traveling, even though that vehicle is moving around 800 kilometers per hour, and we are about 30,000 feet above the surface of the earth, we feel that we are stagnant, or we are just sitting in a place. But at the same time, it is actually moving in a very high speed and at a very high altitude. Only when you start looking through the window, if you can see the clouds or anything, you will know that you are in motion, other than the sound which it makes. So we need a reference point always to know whether we are measurable in the space of time and the height and the distance. Now, when you don't have a measurable or spot from which you can measure what is happiness, That spot is called niradishayatva. When we say sukham, you say, suppose somebody likes sweet. Now there is a limit up to which he can keep eating the sweet, after which it becomes pain for him to eat anymore. Say, suppose if he eats 10 gulab jamuns or 20 gulab jamuns or jalebi or whatever it is, chocolates or whatever it is. After some time he cannot take more than that. So there is a limit which you will be touching that. So there is a reference point where your happiness was very high, then it starts diminishing, which is called the diminishing value of utility. And it comes to a stage where you can't even look at that same food which once upon a time you said you loved the most is a jalebi or a gulab jamun or whatever it is. But when it is beyond your capacity, you don't like it anymore. So there is a reference point with which your sukham is measured. But in the case of anandam, there is no reference point. But how do we know that we are Ananda Swarupa? We should be in such a state where we don't have anything to measure comparable. This state is as an upama or an example. It is not 100% upama, but that is the closest which the textbooks can give you, is that when you are in absolute deep sleep, there you cannot measure anything, or you cannot compare what is the happiness or the pleasantness or you are in. But definitely when you wake up, you have a reference point to tell that, oh, I slept so well, I did not know anything. That happiness of that good sleep can be known only by a person who doesn't get sleep at the night. He may have to eat sleeping pills or things like that, and then he, even after taking, he might have dozed off with a groggy head. But without that, when we every day religiously go into the deep state of sleep, we are in a state of anandam. That is our ananda level. But for Sri Hari, who is the Parama, so for him it is a Paramananda. Okay? So that is what the Paramananda is referring here. Now, Upadeshtaram. Here the Upadeshtaram is being, as he is in the form of a guru, one who teaches. Upadeshtaram means a teacher or a preceptor who tells. Now he is supposed to be the Adi Guru, from whom all the knowledge has come in, because he is the first source for every knowledge. Why is he said? Because he is Ishwaram. Ishwaratam is Aishwaryasya Bhavam. Ishwaram is the standard definition for Ishwaratam, but in this Vidhyaranya Swami, when he is explaining, he is giving a totally different meaning for Ishwaratam. Ishta is controller. From that point of, he is known as Ishwara, because Srishti Sthiti Laya, controller, is Ishwara. Now to become Srishti Sthiti Laya, you have all the range fully within your control. No? So that is why he is called Vyapakam. Now Vyapakam is Sarvagatam. These are the other words used it for Vibhu. These are the Sanskrit words equivalent for that particular terminology. Now, how do we make that understand that word Vyapakam is to be understood? Is that something closest which we can think is space. But we should know that space is also within our realm of knowledge. We know space as space. Even though it's not measurable, we can measure only volume or the space occupied by a limited factor, like as a house or a football field or a bigger one, or the space occupied by earth, or we can go even to the universal level. But that's all limited. But the space in which that exists is bigger than the space, bigger than that space occupied by the limited entity. But our knowledge can even encompass that space as a knowledge or within the realm of knowledge. So our knowledge is even more vyapakam than the space itself, because space is within the knowledge. So that what is within has to be lesser occupying than the one which holds it. Like a house can hold us, but the house is held in the district. The district is held in the state by country in the earth. Now this earth planet is in the solar. Like that, if you extend it, the terminology of the one which is holding the other one. So the one which has got maximum holding capacity is the vyapakam. Now sarva lokanam vyapakam is that. Now what is the sarva loka? Lokyate is the root from which the loka comes. Lokyate means to know, to see. Darshane, darshane is the dhatu from that. Lokyate, when it comes to darshane, it is knowledge what they are talking about. Sarva lokana means all the things which you can think of or bring within your realm of knowledge. That is called sarvaloka. In the Puranas, they will talk about sapta lokas on the higher lokas and sapta lokas on the the lower lokas, like patala and swarga and all those things. But those are all for people who have imaginative experiences and all. But that is not the loka what we are talking about in Advaita. Advaita, the loka means it is the world of experience. Now sarva loka means all sorts of experience, from the shabda sparsha rasa rupa gandha upadi nimittam and including the mind. So shashta indriyani. So with all the indriyas, whatever you can experience is the sarva loka. And why is it called a karanam for that? Because Sri Hari, Sri Eva Hari. Sri Hari, now I am explaining the word Sri, is that, but the normal Sri Hari is as Hari, Vishnu. But here the word Hari is for Harati or Nashayati. So you knew that Srishti Sthiti Layam, so there has to be a Layam also, no? So the Hari even destroys, creates and maintains in the space of knowledge the whole experience. So he is the Srishti Sthiti Laya Karta. So therefore he is the Karanam from which the my existence or the world existence of the world, and he is the one who is destroying it also. Now in the text, Vidhyaranya Swami is explaining that what way he is Hari. He is destroying it by the ajnana with which we feel limited. Our vyapakatvam we are not able to measure, because we are, as Vamshi has been telling and Bhagini has been telling, that it is limited to the skin. That jnana, ajnana or avidya is destroyed by upadeshtaram rupam ishwaram. He is in the form of a preceptor or the guru who explains, through which this ignorance is removed, where we will know our vyapakatvam, and the sarvaloka karana is by what reason is the sarvaloka karana, this thing, and that swarupa is paramanandam, which is in Hari as well as in me. So tam harim aham namami. So that is the mental picture we have to have in when we are chanting this opening sloka, that we are not talking about Vishnu per se, but the tattvam, what Vishnu stands for, as Paramananda Swarupaha, Sarvalokanam Karanam, Vyapaka Sarvalokanam Karanam and Upadashtaram. Tam Harim Aham Namami. This is what the first verse meaning is also about. Any questions?
Mahodaya,
Okay.
can you just elaborate on Niratishayam? Can you just make it a bit clear?
Niratishayam is Atishayam Vina. It's a negative
Nai Tatpurusha.
Tatpurusha.
That how do we apply in Atishayam? How do we apply in Advaita is my question.
Okay. See, Niratishayatvam will come. Atishayatvam will come. Let us first know what is Atishayatvam. Atishayatvam is Ati Shayanam. Shayanam is the root from which it comes. To lie beyond is Atishayam. That is beyond my, as you said, in the range. Beyond that, if it is there, that is means something beyond me is what is Atishayam. Is comparable to me. Right. When you have something to compare, then you say that is Atishayam, or it is comparable, that is lying apart from me. So in the Upanishad there is a verse that Dvitiyad vai bhayam bhavati. If we know that there is something which is other than me, then that can be a cause of worry or a cause of pain or cause of sorrow for me, because that can either become competitive to me, or that can be stronger than me, or that can even annihilate me or even destroy me. So Dvitiyat vai, indeed from the second only you can get a fear, but when you don't have a second one, you don't have to be bhayam. So in the Brihadaranya, this Yajnavalkya says to Janaka, Abhayam praptosi, you have reached the state of Abhayam. Abhayam means na bhayam. Why? Dvitiyam na Dvitiyad vai bhayam bhavati, there you don't have the second one. So when it comes to Niratishayam, is the state where you have nothing else to compare with, including you as individual.
Yes.
Because in both waking and dream, we have an experience of aham, that I am there. So whether in the waking or dream, we have to consider two are the same only for this terminology, where we have something to compare or something on which our measures are kept, whether it is happiness, sorrow, health, or money, or anything what you take, any field of experience, you have a comparable other than the aham in both waking and sleep. But when it go to deep sleep, you are not even able to explain what you were there in the deep sleep, because there is no atishayam there to explain what is that. All you can say is that you did not know from the time you slept to the time you woke up, where were you, what were you, who were you, and any question regarding when, where, why, how, all those things you cannot answer.
Yes.
Because there is, so that state is called Niratishayatva, as far as the individual is concerned.
Yes.
Now, as far as Paramatma is concerned, for him the entire world is in him, and there is nothing for him to compare. No.
Satyam. Satyam. I got the answer, Mahodaya. They also say that they also say that a person who has a good sleep is a perfect person eligible for spirituality.
Because that is the time when I told you, as per the Aparokshanubhuti term explanation, he is the one who is one with Sati Sampadya na viduhu Sati Sampadhyamahe. He has become one with the Sat. But na viduhu, but he doesn't know. Sati Sampadhyamahe. We have become one with the truth at that time. We are in Sat. We are in the state of Sat at that time. We are pure existence at that time of this thing. But those who think that sleep is a part of the activity of the body, for them it is a third party visualization of the sleep, not a Atma from the standpoint of self evaluation. So if I see somebody sleeping, I can tell whether he is sleeping, not sleeping, because when I call his name, he is not waking up. That means he is sleeping. But at the same time, he is breathing and all those things. Physically, I am able to see. But whether he was there, whether his aham was in that body or not, I cannot say from outside. But after waking up, he also himself says, I don't know where I was. Right?
Yes, Mahodaya. Dhanyavadah, Uttamam.
Mahodaya, can you just tell which were the Shasta Indriyani you were saying?
Panchaindriyam, you know, no? Panchaindriyani.
Yes.
And manas is considered the sixth Shasta Indriyani because
okay. Got it.
In the dream, all the experiences which you are having is created by the mind and experienced by the mind. So it has to be an Indriya. Indriya, what does Indriya mean? Is an organ of sense. So we are sensing something in the dream. So that is why mind is also considered as a sixth Indriya. Plus also, mind, as explained in the first class, it is a consolidator for all the five to get a total experience.
Yes. Mahodaya. Dhanyavad.
So, shall we move to the next? This is the first shloka by the commentator Vidhyaranya Swami, Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. After that, he has written the 5 shlokas he has written as a Upodkadam or a preface before starting his commentary. Now, Shobha Bhagini, Padachedam Kartum Ichchati va?
Mहोदय, तत्र श्रीगणेशाय नमः इति पदस्य वा?
न, तदनन्तरं श्लोकमस्ति न, प्रथमं श्लोकं.
Mahodaya, are you putting it on the presentation?
Yeah, it is there.
Okay, maybe.
It's not seen, Mahodaya. It's not.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not able to see it.
You're not able to see it? Okay.
It's on the previous slide still.
Oh, web viewer, I have to go. Now it's coming?
Yes. Now I can see the shloka and okay. Padachedah Anvaya. Astu.
Oh, that is why I didn't change the sharing screen. That's why it was not shown earlier.
Astu Mahodaya. Swaprakashascha heturyah Paramatma Chidatmakah. तत्र स्वप्रकाशः च हेतुः तत्र रेपः आगच्छति यः स्वप्रकाशः च हेतुः यः तत्र च इत्यस्य श्चत्वं अपि तु रेपः तु विसर्गस्य रेपः भवति. अस्तु, यः स्वप्रकाशः च हेतुः यः परमात्मा चिदात्मकः चित् आत्मकः.
Yeah, but it's a samasthapadam.
Samasthapadam. Chidatmakah. Agre api karomi va? अपरोक्षानुभूत्याख्यः सोऽहमस्ति क्षम्यतां सोऽहमस्मि परं सुखम् तत्र अपरोक्षानुभूत्याख्यः अपरोक्ष अनुभूतिः आख्यः सः अहम् अस्मि परं सुखम्
ओके
महोदय क्षम्यतां तत्र सोऽहम् इति मध्ये अवग्रहचिह्नं should be there, right? It's not
necessary. So avagraha chihnam has come much later because it's a printer's methodology of identifying it.
The sandhi
in the older Sanskrit you don't put as avagraha chinna.
Okay, astu mahoday. Sorry Bhagini, go ahead.
No चिन्ता नास्ति भगिनि तत्र अपरोक्षानुभूति वा महोदय
अपरोक्षानुभूति again is a samasta pada so you don't split that अपरोक्षानुभूति
अस्तु स्वप्रकाश अन्वय अस्तु तत्र यः स्वप्रकाशः परमात्मा चिदात्मकः परं सुखं तेषां हेतुः च सः अपरोक्षानुभूति आख्यः अहम् अस्मि अर्थः he who is self effulgent and also called Paramatma of the nature of awareness is the primordial cause. He is me, known as Aparokshanubhuti, immediate awareness, pure bliss.
Okay. Swamiji, would you like to explain? Swamiji अस्ति वा?
महोदय क्षम्यताम् अनन्तरं वदामि वा इदानीं
चिन्ता नास्ति ओके यः स्वप्रकाशः यः means here again he is referring to the Srihari of the first sloka where this the Shankaracharya's opening sloka Srihari so that Srihari is called yaha swaprakashah now this word swaprakasha is very what you call highly commended word in the Advaitic Vedanta text like Advaita Siddhi then Vedanta Sara then there are what you call there are 2-3 other textbooks where this Swaprakashata even Brihadaranya Upanishad one chapter is entirely on the word Swaprakashata. Now what is the Swaprakashata or Swaprakashaha? Swaprakashaha is Saha Swaprakashaha, Yah Swaprakashaha. Swaprakasha, Swayam Prakashate Yah Sa Swaprakashaha. Now our everything else na deepasya anya deepechya is one example given in the Vedanta Advaita Vedanta thing that to see one lamp you don't need another lamp because the lamp is able to make its presence available by the Swaprakashatam of the lamp but that is it's a lighter version of it whereas when it comes to our awareness that doesn't need another light or another knowledge to show us that I know. Every person can say aham asmi sadabhami. So that bhasa or the shining of the aham is called swaprakasha. Now the aham when we talk about don't confuse confuse the aham with the ego aham. Okay, that is called ahankara in Advaita. Aham is different from ahankara. The ego is ahankara, whereas aham is the self. So the swaprakasha is that nobody has to tell that aham asmi to anyone. The word when he says that I is the very indicator that his swaprakashata, he knows. That is why he is able to say I am reading, I am eating, I am sleeping. Whatever action he is doing or is referring to I is because of that swaprakashata. And that is Paramatma. Why? Now there is an example in the Brihadaranya Upanishad. Agnisfulingavat. Agnisfulingavat. Now there is a huge fire. Now the fire is self-effulgent and it is consuming so much, it is bright like anything. One spark from that is enough to cause another similar fire, or it has got all the qualities of the same fire from which the spark comes out. So in the Upanishad what it says is that the Jivatma or the Atma in everyone, which is this light showing as awareness, is like the spark from the main fire Paramatma, from where the Prakashata comes to everything. So that is the abode from which every awareness is there, and our awareness is not different from that awareness, because just the spark is not different in the quality of the fire, or the quantity wise it may be different, but the quality of the ability to burn is there in that spark also, so that it is not different from the main. That is leading to our two pillars of Ananyatvam and Advitiyatvam. Because it is coming from that, it is Advitiya, not different from it. It has got all the potencies of catching, making fire and burning. So it is not Ananyam. It is not different material other than that. So Swaprakasha Paramatma. Now what is that Swaprakasha that we are talking about? It is the Chidatmakatvam. Chit and Atmakatvam. Chit here is the pure awareness, where it is not a subject, it is not an object based knowledge, where even when we say I, we have a bit of objectiveness in our I because of the wrong identification to, as we said, to the body. So when we say I, actually even though we are the I which we are referring is the same Chidatmakatvam or the Paramananda Swarupasya, it is not an Amsha, it is that itself. A cup of ocean can never be, not we will call it as water, but it is ocean itself. Whether we take it in a handful or in a cup, it cannot be different from the qualities of the ocean. Same way, the spark cannot be different from the spark, this thing from the ocean, from the main fire. So this,
Mahodaya, Kshemata, may I say something there?
Yeah.
Just a quote that helped me when I heard it. So the example of the ocean and the water.
Yes.
So the quote is, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop." Just wanted to share that.
Right, exactly. So whether it's a drop of the ocean, you are the ocean itself. Same way, you are the spark of the fire, and you are the spark with the fire. So Chitatmakatvam is the Swarupatvam of Swaprakashata and Paramatmata. Chit is awareness, because awareness is the one which is enlightening everything. Without awareness, there is nothing called Swaprakashata. You cannot even say I there or anything. So that basically the Chit, Atmakatva means is the Swarupa. Atma is Swarupa or the self. So self is then the nature of Chitatma. Paramam Sukham. Param Sukham is Paramam Sukham, you can say both are meaning the same, is the Niratishaya Sukham, or because there is nothing other than awareness in all our experiences. If you look at it, the light, we may see 100 things in the light, but we don't see the light which is bringing the 100 things into our awareness. We remove the awareness of the existence of light, but we acknowledge the object as I'm seeing the computer, I'm seeing the mobile, I'm seeing the wall, light and everything. But it is the light, the existence through is shown through the light. Same way, the awareness of knowledge in us and in the objects outside as Chit is the one which is being the reason which we are able to identify the objects outside. And that is Param Sukham because there is Niratishayatvam in it. Only when you look at from that, when you look at the pure light nature, the objects can vary, the light doesn't vary. So there is no comparison or Adishayatvam in the light. Objects can vary, but Adishayatvam in the light is not there. Same way, Param Sukham is the Chitatmaka Rupam is Param Sukham. And why is it called Hetu? So that is the Hetu with which we think that we are separate from the Param Sukham. Why? Because our identification with the body, mind and intellect. Such a Aparokshanubhuti Akhyam, that Chidatma, Paramatma, Swaprakashaha is known, Akhya means known as Aparokshanubhuti, and Aham Asmi, and that I am, is the first verse of the Vidhyaranya Swami's commentary. He has written 5 verses for the first in the Ubodhkalam or the inaugural speech. Now, since the time is up, I think I will stop here. Any questions, we can do that. Otherwise, we can take any. If you listen to that, you can take it and think. Swamiji, you want to say something? Naina,
yes. Is man and chitta same or different?
No. Mind and Chitta are different. In fact, if you have listened to my last class, I had explained the difference between mind, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, the 4 faculties of the same organ. When it is operating as what it is mind, what it is called when it is Buddhi, why it is called Ahankara when it is operating at certain level. And when all the 3 are not there, that is what it is called Chit. Neither you have manas, neither you have buddhi, nor you have ahankara. That time you are in the Chit Swarupa.
Okay, so what is that state?
That state is what you experience in your deep sleep. Can you explain that?
No, right, no.
But you know that you were there in your deep sleep, isn't it?
Yes.
So Aham Asmi is that state, without any object.
Dhanyawad Mahoday, dhanyawad.
Lalita Bhagini, any questions or anything you want to add which will enhance our discussions?
No questions, Mahodaya.
Okay. Abhishek ji?
Mahodaya.
Okay. Yes, Mahabhat.
Not for now.
Okay. Vamshi Bhagini?
Mahodaya, Tatra, you were mentioning about deep sleep. That is, we are unaware about the bliss. I mean, you get to know after you come out of it. But in Aparokshanubhuti, you knowingly you know the bliss. That is what is the difference, right? like see, we go into deep sleep, and you say after you wake up from the sleep, you say yes, I've gone into deep sleep. But the pure bliss is something which you are aware about it and you enjoy the bliss. That is what is the state, right?
Okay, I'll tell you something which is in a much advanced before we get to the end of the text. That is the time when the Aparokshanubhuti comes out. But since you have asked the question, I'll explain to you in a best thing is that in the deep sleep, what happens is we are helpless. We go into that state and we are in a helpless state, and when we wake up we have the experience of it, but we are unable to explain it, right? Now that is destroyed or marred by the awareness of multitude in our waking, because we experience the whole thing through our mana, buddhi and ahankara. That even though the chit is available on which we experience the mana, buddhi, ahankara, the chit per se we cannot experience because unless we go to sleep where there is no multitude in our experiences. How to shift from our identification with the mind, mana, buddhi, ahankara identification, to the available chit even during the waking and dream and deep sleep, is the process of introspection through which we can learn to shift our identity from identified with the mind and body and the intellect, to know that there is that substratum on which my entire identity is built up. So that is there in that substratum, and knowing that how to make it the predominant base on which you experience the world is what is called Aparokshanubhuti. That shift of identification. Today if you are emotional, you will identify with your mind. Today if you are logical, you will identify with your intellect. And if you have got egocentric activities, you identify with your ahankara. But all the three are having a substratum of chit or pure awareness of I. So that Aparokshanubhuti will come only when you shift your avoiding the ahankara, buddhi and mana. You will base yourself at the chit level. That is the time when you are opposite. Today it is happening uncalled for or without any effort, and when you go to deep sleep, experiencing that all through your awareness is what is called Aparokshanubhuti. Now how to do that? We have to go a long way. First, to identify what are the problems why we are not able to do that, even though that is your Swarupa or our Swarupa or anybody's Swarupa, including the stone and the Brahmadi Stambha Paryanta. That is what it is mentioning. From Brahma to the grass on this thing, everything is on that substratum. But we are not able to see, like how I said, that we are not able to see the light. We can see the effect of the light, but never see the light per se.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Wonderful. Yes, wonderful. I got the answer. Dhanyawada, Mahadaya.
Right. Okay, the next shlokas will continue in the next class. Right?
The only problem is we have to wait for 1 week for the next shloka. That is what
I know. I don't mind taking more than one class in a week, but the problem is that where we fix it or all those things.
Yes.
And it should be acceptable to all those who are participants. Because 1 week is something
that's true, but it is so interesting that we want to go ahead. We just don't want to stop, but time
Same here, Mohadaya. I agree with Bhagini. We really look forward to it.
If all of you are game for it, I don't mind, because I can tell you which are the days I am free. See, Tuesdays I am free, Wednesdays I am free, Fridays I am free. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 days I am free.
Yeah.
That's true.
So let us think about
it. It's valuable to do just probably one shot a week, because at least for me, I like to go through the recordings. If not once, I prefer to do it twice, just to imbibe the concept.
Yes.
So while it is okay to listen to you, and it is very, very good.
Right.
Thank you for organizing this. But I think it takes time to just soak it in.
Yes, same here, Moda. I can also make only once a week, but we just don't want to stop it. We just want to hear more and more of it. That's it. Nothing more than that.
That is the beauty of this subject itself, not me. I am only an instrument in delivering that from what I learned from my guru. So just let me chant the Shanti mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.